Welcome all, as we aim to get started. Audible. You can paste your name, organization you are affiliated to in the chat, as we aim to start in 1 minute. And I request that if you're not maybe talking, you can mute your microphone. Thank you. But otherwise, your video can be on.
All right. Welcome everyone once again. My name is Nitingale Ffgg, and I'm currently in Kenya. Let's say that. I work with Acopphe, and I'm part of the leadership. I'm currently sitting at the seat of the president. So welcoming you with both hands and sincerely. And together with me, I have also the team lead from Masai Mara University, who is going to give us the welcoming words. And so, Dr. Bakari Chaka, if you can hear me, I would like to welcome you so that you can welcome everybody to this gathering. Dr. Chaka.
Thank you, Knight, for this. So I'm holding in for Dr. Ale Sosano, who is the Director, Research, Innovation and Outreach at Masai Mara University. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everyone, from wherever you are joining us from. My name is Dr. Bakari Chaka. I am part of the conference secretariat for the Masai Mara side, working very closely with Acopphe to be able to organize this very wonderful conference that we have planned for you. So I would like to take this time to be able to welcome each of you to feel at home for the next 1.5 an hour. We are going to engage to talk more about this conference so that you can be able to know exactly what is this One Hearts for Climate International Conference that we have been able to plan for you. I would tell you that it's a nice thing that has been planned. Actually, the first translational conference in this area. We are looking forward to moving those ideas from the library and from the seminar rooms to the community so that we can be able to engage and interact with community members with some knowledge that we have been able to gain from our scholarly or our academic and our research journeys. So the conference is very timely, and someone else will talk about this later on. We are planning to have it between the 3rd of August all the way to the 9th of August, culminating at Masai Mara Game Park at the second annual gate, potentially, whereby it will coincide with the Indigenous People Celebration, and there we'll be able to declare or put some declarations that have arisen from the conference. So the conference theme has been well picked out. We are looking at issues to do a myriad of issues which are cross-cutting in the area of One Health, not only in human but also in animal health and mostly the environment. You can all agree with me that there's no better time to discuss about this rather than do it right now. I don't want to preempt so much about the conference, but just to welcome you in case you have not called or contacted your other persons who are supposed to be in this conference. Please take a minute to be able to do that such that when we begin, we are all on the same page. Otherwise, feel most welcome to this virtual launch of the uh, first Hearts for Climate International Conference. Thank you, Knight. I think I should pass the baton back to you so that you can bring in James or Ekisia.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bakari Chaka, for the very warm welcome. We feel like we are already walking through the gates of Narok, coming into Masai Mara with that warm welcome. And we look forward to August when we will actually physically walk in there. So at this point, I would like to invite our elders who will ground us and get us settled in this space as we discuss about what we will be doing in the Narok area, land of the Maasai people. So Mr. James Olekesia and team and the elders, please do feel welcome to ground us.
Hello, the President, our friends across the world. My name is James Olekesier from Mau Island. A member of the Acopphe team. And with me here, I have a team of elders from Ilkremisho community, Maasai people living in Mau Highland, in the fringes of Mau Forest. So with me here, I have Jackson Olesururu, and I have Oleseret. So they will take us through a prayer of a native Maasai community, a traditional sacred prayers. And I give this chance to Elder Olesuru to start a prayer for us, and perhaps return it back to you tonight. So thank you so much. So Olesuru, karibu sana, tujeng aduen komono.
Atejo ashe oleng Olekesier, atejo ashe oleng. Kalo ena rishata ashukoki Enkai enashe sapuk oleng tenkaraki ena tumo climate change tenebo Acopphe okulikae pookin oba anaa lotii entumo, nalo aomonoki Enkai misho ninche muj erishata nisho Enkai yiok mataa tenebo orkulikae tung'anak pookin oonyokita aing'oru enkoitoi pookin nikishukunye enkop ang' vile naikununo apa, nalo aomon Enkai misho yiok ina kidimata sapuk oleng. Ekiata osiligi tenkaraki lelo shoreta likining'ito anaa le Masai Mara University tenebo lelo le Acopphe okulikae latodua nkarn enye tenakata nemayiolo oshiake. Nikigira apuo aomon Enkai misho yiok erishata sidai oleng. Nelo aretu yiok aibelekeny enakop ang' enyoriji metaa nji eyia. Ekijo Enkai misho yiok enyoriji metushuku enakop ang' enaa enapake naikununo. Tenebo irpurkeli muj osupuki metaa olalari. Neminie nkulie baa pookin nijo noshi onkariak naar enkop. Neer ireyieta, neya iltung'anak, neya nkishu. Nikiomonoki Olaitoyian misho yiok ina rishata sidai. Nisho iltung'anak lang metaa iltung'anak ang'eni ooning'u enaji neutakinoyu. Nikipuo ake aomon Olaitoyian ajoki ashe oleng tenkaraki nena tumoritin nigira aitobiraki yiok. Kining'ito nchere keetae entumo olapa loloibor are otii yiok tedukuya, naa kaisilig ake ajo kelo Enkai aitabaiki yiok ina rishata. Ashe oleng Olaitoyian tenkaraki nena pookin. Nalo ajo ashe oleng entumo, ashe oleng president tenaitotona entumo, Acopphe membai lenyenak pookin, okulikae pookin, ormaasai pookin te jumla. Naa ekishuku Masai Mara University. Nikishuku ninye enashe oleng aa yiok irmaasai taata ishooki ina rishata metaa yiok oihost ina tumo. Nashukoki Enkai enashe sapuk oleng tenkaraki ina. Nalo aisho ajoito kashukoki Olekesier entumo pee endelea alo arikoo. Ashe oleng.
Thank you so much. I think we wanted to pray for us, but I think time also is not on our side. And I forgot now to mention that when the elder is praying, we could have all put our mic. We unmute the mic, so that when he prays, we say Nai. Nai means God. So maybe for have a minute, let's all put the mic on. Everybody put the mic on, and then he closes with that prayer.
Basi kagira ajoito kila mtu mwenye yako mkutano kejo nai. Whenever I say nai. Very good. Ashe oleng Ole. Njo yiok sidan. Njo do yiok nai. Njo yiok pooki toki. Terribo yiok lipaari odama. Ntabaiki yiok ilapa liorishana. Ashe oleng. Ashe oleng.
Ashe oleng. Ashe Maasai language is thank you all, and may God bless us all. Otherwise, I return this part to the chairman, the host, our president, Nightingale. Thank you.
much gratitude to the elders from Ikeremisho in Narok. And we feel well grounded and feel very appreciative. So without further ado, I will just go ahead and say just a little bit about Acopphe, the organization that's co-hosting together with Masai Mara University, after which I will let Dr. Bakari Chaka say a little bit about the university, and then we will move on. So Acopphe is a non-governmental organization that's been in existence since 2021, but got its accreditation 2023. So we've been working in different areas, and especially in the arid and semi-arid areas. We are mostly focused in Kenya right now, and we are working with the marginalized communities, indigenous communities, and we center children, communities, and climate. So, and I think those are the key things that I would like to mention. So Maasai land, which is once again, like we heard, one of the places where we work, is a place that's very dear to us and very instrumental to the work we're doing, and especially looking at following the One Health concept that looks at the health of us humans, the health of animals, and the health of our planet or environment. And going to this community of the Maasai people, we get a really good example of what it is to live One Health or to practice One Health just by living it. So I think that's what I would like to mention. And then to also add briefly that this event that's happening on the first Friday of the month is an event that we have been doing for some time, which is basically centering these issues that I mentioned that are really important to us as people and for the wellness of our animals and the well-being of our planet. So we call it Ffgg, which is First Friday Global Gathering. But today we are talking about the conference and the community gathering that's going to come in August, which we will talk much more about. So I think, Dr. Chaka, if you can just have the mic and talk briefly, say a little bit about the Masai Mara University.
Thank you, Knight. So Masai Mara University is one of the public universities in Kenya. We were chartered in 2013, in March of 2013, and have been in existence since then. So you can see that we are almost celebrating our 12th birthday. It's still a relatively young university, but with quite a lot of ambitions. So it's located in Narok County. This is around 150 kilometers to the southwest of Nairobi, for those of you who have never been to Narok before. And the niche of the university is tourism, environment, resource management, and conservation. These are issues that we hold very dear to us, not only because of what they have potential for, but because of the strategic position of the university in regards to these issues, which have also been well scripted out in regards to the conference that you are planning to have. For example, we usually leverage on 3 key issues. So the first issue is our location, whereby we are located in the Mara Serengeti ecosystem. And within this ecosystem, we are lucky to have the Mara, or the Masai Mara National Reserve, which is one of the, it holds one of the wild beast migration, which usually occurs in between, you can say, June all the way to September of every year, whereby we have wild beasts migrating from one side, usually from Mara, moving through the Mara River and to the other side in Serengeti. So this event is one of the eight wonders of the world, and because of it, it's a large tourism hotspot. So we very much love to be associated with that. And that one gives us the issue of wildlife. So wildlife, you see, from One Health, wildlife is one of the issues that comes out quite strongly from it. The other issue, it's the Mau ecosystem. We are close to the Mau forest, like you saw the previous partners, James Orekisia and his other elders, as they were praying for us. And this Mau ecosystem and our proximity to the Mau ecosystem, it's something which is very good for us because it has opened many doors for us. In this era of carbon climate, carbon financing, and all the carbon issues that we have, and being lucky to have the Mau ecosystem next to us, there's a lot that we can be able to explore jointly. Of course, as alone as Masai Mara University, it's not very much realistic to be able to get the optimal out of it, but with partners like yourselves and others, we can be able to leverage on it to be able to attract grants, to be able to write research proposals, and to transform that area such that we don't have so much of the so-called cutting down of trees and other deforestation activities associated in the Mau ecosystem. The Mau ecosystem is one of the most important ecosystems in Kenya because it's the main water catchment areas for the southern part of Kenya, extending to northern Tanzania and the eastern part of Uganda. So you can see how important this area is. And then lastly, we are located in the hotspot of the Maa culture. Like we just had the prayers by Olekisi and his team, and this community and their culture, they have been able to withstand strongly their cultural activities, and because of their strong cultural activities, then there's a lot that you can be able to learn out of it. So one of the issues that will arise during the conference is the issues of marginalized communities and indigenous people, as well as the plight, especially in the recent developments that we have. So because of being in the Ma culture and enjoying a very strong Ma culture within our neighborhood, then we see that there's also a lot of opportunities that are accruing because of this. So those three strategic issues are one of the issues that we strongly leverage upon. And for sure, we look forward to this conference to seeing how best we can be able to explore further on these strategic issues. So, Knight, you'll allow me to stop at that juncture. I can speak and speak and speak, but because you don't have time, we'll be able to give the baton back to you, and you can continue with the proceedings.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bakari Chaka, for sharing about Masai Mara and how important it is to basically the country and the region, and also how well placed it is for us to hold this event. Both the conference and the community activities. And just to touch base, so again, thank you, Dr. Just to touch really, really briefly before we go on to the next item, is just to share that so we have the HEARTS4CLIMATE conference that's going to be housed under the African Universities and Communities Climate Week. This will be starting, like Dr. Bakari Chaka said, starting the 3rd and ending on the 8th, on the 9th actually, and then the actual conference is going to be from the 4th to the 8th. On the 9th, we also celebrate World Indigenous Peoples Day, and this will happen at the Masai Mara Gate called the Sekenani Gate. So this will be an activity that will be fully spearheaded by the community, and we will be supporting them. And so I wanted to mention that. So two of the important goals that we have today is one, to provide a comprehensive and interactive overview of this AUCCW
We've lost you. Can't hear.
Knight, I think we lost you.
Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yeah, you are now audible, though we can't
Okay.
see you, but we can hear you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Hi, Knight, you are muted. Please unmute.
Oh, how about now? Sorry.
Now you are
It's
okay.
clear now.
Okay, thank you. Apologies on that. So again, second goal to invite our global friends and colleagues to join our diverse and dynamic community and work with us to unite both Africa and the planet for a sustainable and healthy future for all. So the one other thing I will mention is that we decided to host this event in August collectively together with Masai Mara University because of the time of year that it'll be the Great Migration time, or it'll be right around that time. And so it'll be a very good time for us to both talk about the One Health concept and the importance of the well-being of all of us, planet, environment, people, and animals, and to also be able to go out to the Masai Mara Game Reserve and see for ourselves as the animals, the wildebeests and other animals actually migrate from one side to the other. So it is a very special time, and we are all really excited to welcome you and to host you during that time. So that's what I would say for now. And I would like to move on to the next thing. And I will hand over to Dr. Kamundia and my son. So just really quickly, that's what I'm talking about. AUCCW, and under it, we have the community engagements, and then the conference, which is the HEARTS4CLIMATE, just showing it on the screen. And now over to...
Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Auccw Mundia from Masai Mara University. Our task with Mason was to briefly explain the relationship between AUCCW and the HEARTS Conference 1. From our side, we look at, we are a number of universities who more or less are conferencing on climate. And in our mandate, we have to do a bit of community work outreach, and this provides an excellent platform to influence the community. But more importantly, we are looking at engaging the community directly. We cannot have a top-down approach to climate solutions. We have to engage the community along, develop strategies and approaches that mitigate issues that arise from climate change, One Health issues, carry along the community. We need to have that community with various stakeholders working in tandem, and therefore, the HEARTS conference is quite unique. It's just not academic, but it also reaches out to the indigenous culture of the Ma, goes back to the community who are interacting with the Mau Forest, with the National Game Reserve, with the Mara River. And in Narok, we have a lot of agriculture, both crop and livestock, which also have a very big stake in terms of climate change, in terms of One Health. And we seek to form a very formidable force of both scholars, stakeholders, community that will provide a way forward in issues of climate change and One Health. Thank you. I'll hand over back to Mason.
Thank you, Dr. Thank you, Dr. Kamundia, for that elaborate relationship between Africa universities and communities Climate Week and the Hearts for Climate conference. So I'll start by just sharing about what the AUCCW means. So this is the African Universities and Communities Climate Week, and it seeks to bridge this divide by fostering collaboration between academia, communities, policymakers, and climate practitioners. AUCCW is an umbrella initiative that integrates, one, the Hearts for Climate Research Conference, that is the Health and Environment in Africa, Research and Translations, Solutions for Climate. A high-level academic platform for interdisciplinary climate research, governance, and policy discussions. The second initiative that is housed by the AUCCW is the community-led activities. And this we are talking about practical engagements in conservation, planetary health, sustainable livelihoods, and indigenous knowledge sharing. By combining research, policy, and grassroots innovations, AUCCW will promote climate justice, sustainable development, and resilience building in Africa. Our objectives for the AUCCW, one is to strengthen partnerships between universities and communities to drive climate action, because we are talking about from theory to practice. Number two objective is to promote interdisciplinary research and innovation for sustainability. Number three objective is to amplify indigenous knowledge and local adaptation strategies. Number four is empower youth, students, and local leaders to champion climate solutions. Number five is bridge the gap between research, policy, and community-driven actions. AUCCW key activities, as the past speakers have mentioned, that it starts from the 3rd of August through the 9th of August. The 3rd of August is actually on a Sunday, and the 9th is on a Saturday. So we'll be having a whole week packed with activities that I'll just mention, and we'll be happy to share even as we go along specific activities that will be happening in specific days. So just to mention, the 3rd of August, we have a Community Climate Action Day, and two main activities is the bike ride from Nairengare Swamp. It's a swamp, it's a wetland that have actually been adopted by Masai Mara University. It's 30 kilometers to Narok town, where the university is. And we are trying to raise awareness on wetland conservation and community resilience. As we arrive in Narok, there is a river, the Narok River. And the other activity will be happening is the river cleanup, because when you try even to go there, there is a lot of human activity that is actually happening along the river. So we will be mobilizing volunteers to, restore that river which is actually a very important river, even talking about Narok and other parts of the country. The second activity is the Mount Suswa climb, which, we are engaging participants in conservation education and geological exploration. So those
No, nice. We can't hear Mason.
go now. Can you hear me? Okay, thank you. So I'm saying the 4th, which is on a Monday, the HEARTS4CLIMATE conference officially kicks off, and we'll be having opening ceremony and keynote addresses featuring climate scientists, policymakers, and indigenous leaders. We'll also be having thematic panel discussions and workshops covering climate, biodiversity, governance, and planetary health. And I think a speaker will be coming to elaborate more about the tracks or the sub-themes to the HEARTS4CLIMATE conference. On the 5th, on the 4th through the 8th, that is when the HEARTS4CLIMATE conference goes on. We'll be having oral presentations, posters, keynotes, and community field visit. So we have other community activities that will be running concurrently with the HEARTS4CLIMATE conference. And one of the activities that will be running is we have the Green Jobs Fair. We have the Sustainable Technology Showcase. We have the Healthy Food Festivals. So the Green Jobs Fair and Sustainable Technology Showcase will be happening on the 4th, the 5th, the 7th, and the 8th. And these we are looking about connecting youth with climate employment and green innovations. On the 6th of August, which is actually on our Wednesday, we'll be having a community field visit. Dr. Chaka mentioned the ecosystem, the Mau forest ecosystem. And we will be visiting Naisea village, which actually touches that ecosystem, the Mau forest. So activities that will be happening there will be bird watching and biodiversity conservation walk. And we are saying exploring the ecosystem bordering the Mau forest. We'll be doing mass tree planting, reforestation efforts to enhance ecosystem restoration. We also will be having a medical camp providing health services to local communities, integrating planetary health and One Health approaches. On the 7th of August, the HEARTS4CLIMATE conference, scientific conference, continues. We will also be having a planetary health film festival. And here we are saying, showcasing climate documentaries and indigenous storytelling. The Green Jobs Fair and Sustainable Technology Showcase featuring climate enterprises and innovation hubs. The 8th will be the closing date of the HEARTS4CLIMATE research conference. So we'll be having presentation of key, research outcomes. In the community side, we'll be having the Green Jobs Fair and Sustainable Technology Showcase continue. And in the evening of the 8th, which is on a Friday, we will be having the gala dinner. On the 9th, and this is very interesting, the 9th normally is the World Indigenous Peoples Day. So we will be celebrating that that special day in Sekenani. Sekenani is the main entrance to the Masai Mara Game Reserve. And apart from the celebration of the World Indigenous Peoples Day, we will be having a One Health, a One Health declaration. And this, we are thinking of translating it at least to 3 languages, that is English, Swahili language, and the Ma language. But other languages are open to be translated too. We are also having the Summit of Champions for Climate and Art, that is SOCA, and thinking about showcasing climate-inspired artwork and advocacy. And I, of course, mentioned that the Sekenani falls under the Mara Serengeti the Mara Serengeti ecosystem. And that is when and how we'll be, having the One Health declaration. And I said it's a multilingual declaration, English, Swahili, and the Ma language. So that is an overview or a skeleton of how the activities of the AUCCW are actually outlined. So in case of any questions, we'll be happy to answer. Otherwise, back to Nightingale, who is our facilitator. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mason Olekipila, for taking us through the proceedings. And now I will go ahead and invite James Debelin to walk us through the communications part. So James, please.
Thank you so much, Knight, and I take this opportunity to welcome everyone to this launch of AUCCW. And I will be taking you through communication plan and language accessibility for this conference. There is no much content on the slide, but I will just take you through the plan. As we all know, communication is everything in planning and coordinating the events, conferences, and the plan for communication, mostly it will be external and internal. The external part will be online, which has already happened. We have the social media, which has enabled us to join this meeting today. We are able to share, and most probably globally, we have. Yes, we have done that already. There is also the other part of communication, which will be advertising, that will take place via radio, because we are going to work. The conference, the Climate Week, will going to take place within the local community. So we are planning to have the radio advertisement where in a local language, so that we are envisioning to have 200 local participants to the conference, 2,000. So how can we reach that? By radio advertisements and inviting them from the ground. Another plan for communication, we have the brochures, the posters that is already taking place together with the social media online. And also the other part is website, which is still on the way. By next week, probably we'll have our website for the AUCCW. I know by and say all of them. And another part is that the language accessibility community centered, and when we do our Mara Serengeti One Health in at most 3 languages, that will be English, Swahili, and Ma language. Ma is the Maasai language. So this is part of communication as well. And for your information, is already out. It was open on January 30th, and it will be closed 15th May. And I will welcome you all for those who are interested in sending that because it's still open until 15th May. And for other information communication plans, we have press release that is going to happen when the conference is around the corner, and also the brochures, the letters for invitation. We will keep in touch and send you all that. So I will stop there. That is all about the communication plan and the language accessibility. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Mr. James Dabalen, for taking us through the communications. I think we all heard pretty well. And maybe some of the things that I will highlight on my end, there was a little breakage. And so I'm not sure if this was for everyone, but I just want to highlight really quickly some of what James said that may not have been audible. And that is that for this conference, as we were told by Dr. Bakari Chaka of Masai Mara University, it's a translational conference that will be happening and very much engaging the community. And so one of the things that we are doing consciously is to make sure that some of the presentations for now are going to not only be in English, but also in Swahili and the Ma language, which is a language spoken by the local people of that land. So I just wanted to mention that and then move on just very quickly to just a quick overview of some of the build-up activities that we have planned that are coming up in the next few months. We are looking at April that we will be doing some Climate Week Community Forum, and this will include bird watching together with or alongside some of our partners. I will mention BirdLife as some of the people that have shown interest in doing this, as well as doing a soil health presentation that will be done in conjunction with Acopphe. Then a tree planting exercise that will be done together with local organizations. And we are in conversation with ENSDA, Ewasonyiro Development Authority, that is basically under the Kenya government, as well as Community One health activities. So these are some of the activities that will happen. So we're waiting for our rains, and as soon as the rains kick in, we're going to start the tree planting exercises. And this will be in various areas, including the wetland, where we begin our very first activity on the first day of our conference or our AUCCW activity, which will be a wetland that has been adopted by the Masai Mara University. In addition to that, we will also do some climate-related activities and actually children-centered activities and arts for climate. And we are planning to do something called Climate Fresk. And this is basically an interactive form of learning about the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. It's fun, it's interactive and educational. We will also have some art projects that will be spearheaded by some people that have already committed to that. We're also looking at a herbarium that's also going to be done jointly together with a community elder and researcher who has done this work for many, many years and is going to work in conjunction with the representatives from both the university and from Acopphe. So a lot of fun things coming up that will be happening just before we have the conference. So this will all be shared in social media and to your emails so that we keep you abreast on what is happening. So I think that is it. And So I'm going to hand over now to Nathan, who will run us through the other part. So Nathan, welcome.
Thank you very much, Nightingale. Asante sana. And I would like to begin by expressing gratitude on behalf of our Acopphe team to the Masai Mara team for walking on this journey with us. And as Nightingale highlighted earlier, we are also grateful to all of you for joining us in this space for the virtual launch of the conference and the Climate Week. I'm going to briefly do an overview of the 8 tracks that constitute the core areas for the HEARTS4CLIMATE conference. Together with Dr. Alois Osano, I am the co-chair for the HEARTS4CLIMATE conference. And as has already been highlighted, we are positioning the work that we are doing in the scientific conference and in each of these tracks to try and have the research be translational and co-created together with the community members. So we have 8 different tracks, and I'll reference, maybe if you can zoom in a little bit, Nightingale, so that we go one by one. The first 3 tracks are environmentally focused, with the first one focusing on biodiversity and animals. And here we're looking at the nexus between biodiversity, ecosystem protection, and animals, looking at the location for the conference, very close to the greater Mara Serengeti ecosystem, which is world famous for the Great Migration that we have aligned the dates of the conference with. We are inviting both people from the region, from Kenya, and from across Africa and the world to come join and hopefully have the opportunity to explore the ecoregion of the Mara Serengeti as well. And this track will give a great overview of some of the key issues and opportunities in the realm of biodiversity and animals. The second track focuses on conservation and pollution. And here we are aiming to highlight how we can achieve a comprehensive transformation through conservation. And we're going to highlight nature-based solutions to revive ancient wisdom and to reverse the pollution crisis. So here again, we are trying to position the interactions, the dialogue, and the research output at the nexus between traditional knowledge and also the modern scientific methods. The third track focuses on climate, and more specifically, we look at climate action, education, and financing. So we're looking at empowering methods and mechanisms to build a bright future and change climate from foe to friend. So here briefly, we want to highlight how climate change is the major challenge of this century from both a health and societal standpoint. And so in many ways, whenever we hear about climate change, the news is scary, concerning, maybe even overwhelming. But if we work together with community members, we believe that we can shift this narrative so that climate is seen as a friend rather than a foe. So these 3 first tracks, as mentioned, broadly constitute the environmentally focused ones, and referencing the triple planetary crisis, that's being biodiversity, climate, and pollution. These are encapsulated in these first 3 tracks. The 4th track, we focus on children and youth, and we want to very much center these important stakeholders, these vulnerable groups, and again, looking at the shift from negative to positive, from pessimism to optimism, we want to look at how children and youth can be solutions to the triple planetary crisis. That is, if we actually have child and family friendly policies, principles, and practices, and work together with children and youth as innovators, as very much open-minded and creative groups, that we think about building a bright future for them and doing this work and walking this journey together with them. So the fifth track is focusing on health. And here we look at food, water, and clean energy as keys to unlock One Health and planetary health together with universal health coverage. So here we are highlighting the relevant components which are essentially universally important to people in urban and rural settings, no matter who we are. The issues of food and water and the energy access are vitally important. And so if we look at these together, these are at the nexus between health and environment. And if we do the research in an active way, in conjunction with community members, we believe that there is immense potential for positive outputs and to co-create dynamic and transformative solutions. And ultimately, for community members, these questions related to the health coverage and the basics of whether they have access to health services are very important in bringing them on board and ensuring that we have a transformative movement for climate resiliency and sustainable development. The sixth track focuses on governance, and here we are tying these systems about the decisions that are made and the decision makers that are making choices and allocating priorities, developing policies that impact people, and trying to ensure that the people who are most impacted by climate and environmental issues are meaningfully involved in both the discussions and decisions about their lives, their livelihoods, and their lands. So here we are tying to the Sustainable Development Goals and looking at how we can scale sustainable economies to achieve the SDGs. The seventh track focuses very much on community members from the local region around the Masai Mara University, Narok Town, and the Narok County, connected to the greater Mara Serengeti ecosystem. So here we look at indigenous people and tie it together with the related and complementary areas of community, culture, and language. And here we are trying to elevate these models as mechanisms to mainstream stewardship for climate resiliency. So using the academic frames, we have traditional ecological knowledge, or TEK. We also have indigenous knowledge systems, or IKS, together with herbal medicine. And we are trying to ensure that these approaches, this deep encyclopedic knowledge, is elevated to be at the table whenever people are talking about related holistic health concepts like One Health, planetary health, climate and health, eco-health, etc. Then our last track is somehow a catch-all one, where again, we are looking at the overall conference, looking at health and environment in Africa, with the overall conference theme being uniting for a healthy planet for all. So with this cross-cutting track, we are going to give priority to submissions that establish clear ties to our core thematic areas of health, environment, and climate, and also inviting researchers and academics and community members who have innovative work that is being done in areas that are not specifically referenced in the other 7 thematic areas, with a few examples being technology, sociology, history, economics, etc. So again, we are trying to have this be a very comprehensive umbrella for the different tracks within the research conference, and broadly ensuring that these are cross-cutting and overlapping and dynamic with the conversations, so that what is happening within the Hearts for Climate conference space is very much relevant to the surrounding community that will be gathered together for concurrent activities under the African Universities and Communities Climate Week. And if you're interested in joining as an abstract reviewer, as a planner for the keynotes, for the workshops, for the different areas within these different thematic areas, we welcome you to reach out, to remain connected, and to join our team in making it so that these questions that we will be looking at together ultimately lead to dynamic solutions to the questions. So thank you again for the opportunity to share, and we look forward to hearing feedback from you. We're now going to switch to the more interactive and discussion-focused section of today's program, and I'll pass it back to you, Nightingale.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nathan, for that overview. And now we're going to just go over to, I think my son might have mentioned this briefly, but just to conclude, again, this will be the very last day of our AUCCW and the conference. And so my son, if you can please come in and talk a little bit about this.
Thank you. Thank you, Nightingale. So this is the Mara Serengeti One Health Declaration, and we have the Sekenani Soccer Symposium, which is Summit of Champions for Climate and Arts. And we also have Sekenani Medical Camp as our three activities during that day. But just to mention, as I said earlier, the 9th of August is normally the world celebration of the World Indigenous Peoples Day. So we will be celebrating that particular important day in Sekenani. And like I mentioned before, Sekenani is the main entrance to the Masai Mara game reserve. We also have the Sekenani Medical Camp, and we are looking about extending healthcare services to the community that lives around the Sekenani area. We are also having the Summit of Champions for Climate and Art, showcasing climate-inspired artwork and advocacy. And here we are bringing on board both primary and secondary schools, students to actually participate in this Summit of Champions. We will be having gifts or presents for the champions of this initiative. We also have the Mara Serengeti One Health Declaration, and as I mentioned earlier, it's going to be a multilingual declaration from the English language, Swahili language, and at least the Ma language. We at least have those three languages, but others are open. And we are thinking on the Mara Serengeti One Health Declaration is actually a community ownership, like we're mentioning One Health. So it's majorly talking about the concept of the One Health approach on climate and health commitments. So I think that is how the 9th or the celebration looks like. But if I have maybe left anything, maybe Nathan, you have anything to add, or back to Nightingale. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, my son, Olekipila. And now I think we have a pretty good idea of what's going to happen. And on that last day, it's going to be a very, very fun day. There's going to be a lot of culture and a lot of interactions that will be happening. So it's really a good day to be there. So we are moving close towards the interactive space. And right now, I would like to invite Ms. Hillary so that she can take us through how to get you guys involved. So Ms. Hillary Diana, welcome. I'm not sure if Hillary can hear me. I know we've been having some challenges with the network. So maybe Maison, you can take this one and talk about how to move together.
Thank you, Nightingale. So we are inviting every one of us to be part of the AUCCW 2025 in Masai Mara University, and actually the community that comes from there. And these, our expected outcomes for the AUCCW is strengthening university and community collaborations for climate resilience. We are also, for the research and policy, we have recommendation for sustainable development, implementation of community-led climate solutions in conservation, health, and renewable energy. We're also calling on youth and local, participation in green jobs, and sustainable technology showcase. Also, for the part of the film festival, we are calling on those very talented young people to document, knowledge, so that there is that exchange, that intergenerational knowledge exchange. So to ensure the success of Africa Universities and Communities Climate Week 2025, we seek institutional, endorsement and strategic partnerships, collaboration with different universities, government agencies, UN and climate organizations, and everyone else that thinks or knows that the tracks that have been shared above actually aligns with their work. This, of course, without, resources, we cannot do. And so calling on different partners to actually, so that we can do resource mobilization. And in case you have any financial and technical support for the AUCCW activities, we call on you. I think the email or the contacts have been shared down below. And we are also calling for active participation and engagement from different stakeholders. Those are the scholars, communities, youth, community members, community elders, NGO, CBOs, leaders, and practitioners to contribute and co-create solutions as we even look to the 2025 AUCCW. So this is a call to action for African universities and communities to lead the change in climate resilience. So join us in this transformative movement. Thank you so much, and back to you, Nightingale.
Thank you so much, my son Olekipila, for filling us in on how we can participate. And now it is time for us to interact. It's time for us to give feedback. It's time for us to ask questions. It's time for us to basically give our input as honestly as we can so that we can have the August event of African Universities and Communities Climate Week, the conference and the community engagement be a success. So I'm going to stop sharing these slides so that we can interact. Feel free to show your video if you like, but no pressure at all. So Dr. Bakari, Chaka, and I are going to run this show. So, and I think I can, maybe I can also give a quick one to Nathan. Nathan, you have something you would like to share?
Thanks, Nightingale. Just wanted to reference several questions have been posted in the chat in case we need any prompting or guiding questions. And we have open-ended invitation to share if you have any questions or feedback about what we have presented. More generally, if you have ideas or suggestions about how you, your community members, your colleagues can contribute and be actively engaged. And also if you have prior experience with conference planning, events planning, especially related to the type of theory of change that we're advancing, where we center communities in doing translational research. So we can reference those questions in the chat if need be. Otherwise, we invite anyone to unmute or to raise your hand. And if we don't have any feedback, we'll try and do calling on particular people in the audience who we know are doing great work and we already have as part of our community.
I think we have one from Timothy Ololmonyak. Timothy, please, the floor is yours. Go ahead. You can introduce yourself and put up your question.
Thank you so much. I hope I'm audible. Yeah, my name is Timothy Lomunyak, and many thanks for the good presentation. I think I've gotten at least some good background or overview, if I may put that way. On the bit of the community engagement and the translations, I had a question. Once the translations are done and I believe it is still in writing, is it like the translations are in writing form, being translated still to writing, or orally? I think I needed to ask that as well, with the mind, bearing in mind the point of the recipients, like the people who can read, or majorly that bit, maybe if I would understand that more. I asked that for the reason that my background is on language documentation and as well as research, though still I think I'd put it on most formative stages. I'm a student at the Technical University of Kenya, but I am working with as well as the community in Kajiado County in terms of trying to put down some documentation of oral narratives, oral literature generally. So that is my background in terms of asking that question. So like the point of, is it translation orally or translation in written form? Depending on who is now to receive, whether read or hear. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Timothy. That's a very pertinent question. And one of the motivations for this conference was because you are moving from the library to the community, then we need to ensure that we ingrain all the community aspects, including the language. So in regards to specifically your question, we are looking at both of them, having it translated in writing through the conference book of abstract and conference proceedings, as well as in orally, when we'll be doing the declarations and we'll be doing the other activities there. We plan to have a translator who can be able to do it. It's nice knowing that you already are in this space, and we would be glad if you can also be able to offer some help in one way or the other. Knight, do you have anything else to add on that?
No, I think you covered it really well. So, Timothy, please feel free to reach out to either of us, and I will just post some of the emails that had been pre-posted previously. Actually, James, if you can please post both emails so that Timothy and anyone else who would like them can have them. So let's see. Any other questions, Dr. Chaka, that you see?
I'm trying to scroll, yet to come across any, but members, the floor is open. As we do that, in case you have any question, please just shoot it up and we'll be able to hear you and respond to your query.
So I think maybe as we continue, I'm just going to very gently call on some people. And I just wanted to see if by chance, Dr. Ahmed, if you may have something you would want to touch on that maybe aligns with some of the work that you're doing in Morocco.
Oh, thank you very much. My name is Ahmed Grouri. I work for an NGO, the Center for Tensift Region Development. Tensift is the region around the city of Marrakesh. And as an association, we work actually on different projects with people ranging from the vulnerable in rural areas and the suburbs of cities to university students, offering also conferences and leadership workshops and so on. So health is very important for people. And as you may know, we have some bad level of literacy. We have still some illiterate people. And we're doing also work on women empowerment, because women take care of the family, but sometimes they're not empowered enough to make decisions. So the area of health is very important, and we work on this with the community, be it in the city, especially the suburbs of cities, or in rural areas. And we believe actually in empowering people, especially the vulnerables.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ahmed. And it's so good to see you again. And thanks for being here. Looking forward to engage further.
Good to see you too, and to see our friends and colleagues. And I'll be happy to contribute in any way. All the best.
Thank you. So I think I would also, I see some appreciation. Thank you, Dale, for the appreciation. Thank you, Henry. I'm wanting to see if Sandra, you would like to say something at this point.
Hello, I hope my connection is better than before. Thank you so much for this kind introduction. Do you understand me?
Yes,
No.
yes, we understand you.
Okay, so I posted some messages in the chat, so I'm very, very grateful for what you're doing. I picked everything up as I indicated via LinkedIn. So I'm Sandra Koeken. I'm working for the European Commission Joint Research Center. We have different sites, and I work in Italy at ISPRA site, but we are very devoted to what you're doing. So I'm kind of involved with my team on emerging health threats and the One Health approach. And the presentations of track 5 and 6 are very close to our heart. So I hope definitely to connect with you, because I also liked a lot that you're focusing on different vulnerabilities, be it from the animal world, the human world, or the environment world and its ecosystems and biodiversity issues. So glad that I could hear all your plans, and definitely if you're looking for partnerships, as we're doing that already with the Kenyan scientists, with Ffgg, where I've been involved, and I remember because they're trying to also work on science diplomacy, communication, and One Health related topics. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sandra, and very excited to hear about the work that you are doing on that side of the world. And we will definitely be in touch so that we can see what we'll be able to do together.
Yeah.
So
Might just allow me to give a shout out to Sandra. I'm also part of Ffgg and Evelyn Kimanthi. We missed you in the last meeting, but I saw your communication through the wall, and we are sure that we'll be able to interact in the next meeting in Ffgg. Otherwise, much welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And Knight, as I hand it over back to you, Dr. Masharia Simon had prepared something as per the prior program. So after we are done with this, he might need to say something. Yes. Knight.
Okay, yes. Thank you so much, Dr. Bakari Chaka. And I'm just wanting to call on Ffgg, because I know that Ffgg, you work very closely, and this is very close to your heart, matters wetlands. And our event is going to kickstart for our conference from a wetland. And so please feel welcome to say something about wetlands and the work that you are doing.
Hi, everyone. My name is David, and I'm very excited about the itinerary that has just been presented to us by the president and her team. And I can say that we are very supportive of this cause. And as friends of Ondiro Wetland, we are very, very excited and very, very much looking forward to joining you. In fact, I think we are going to camp in Narok for the days that we are required there. And also we are going to help a lot with the mobilization from this end. We are also going to make sure that we whip our partners into this so that at least we are able to have as many people as possible. Otherwise, amazing work. I'm very, very proud of Acopphe, the work you're doing. And we are much together in this. Asante sana.
Thank you so much, Mr. David Ffgg. I know we just came from celebrating World Wetlands Day, and you are actually the people that hosted the national events of Kenya.
Yes.
And you guys are doing really, really good work. So we definitely look forward to working together in Narok.
Asante sana.
Yes. So I also want to call on Mr. Henry Parkolwa. We're getting closer and closer to closing. And pardon me, just because I think you guys are a little bit shy, so I get to wear me and Dr. Bakari Chaka get to wear our hats that we can get to call on you. So I wanted to see if Mr. Henry Parkolwa, if you would like to share a little bit about the work that you're doing and how it ties in with this work.
Okay, good evening, and thanks for the invite. Thanks for an excellent job you've done in the presentation and the work that you're planning to do with the Africa University Climate Week that is going to happen in August. As Community Climate Change Action for Resilience, 3CA4R, we specialize in issues to do with disaster risk reduction, climate change adaptation, and promoting nature-based solutions to drought risk management, and the One Health approach as well, particularly when you're doing some response activities during the drought periods, because pastoralists usually spend even in their houses with small shots or small animals like goats and sheep. They sleep in the same room, so there's a possibility of zoonotic diseases being passed to them. So when you are addressing a disease like maybe an outbreak of foot and mouth disease, and then there's a need also to cover both as you support communities in terms of food aid, you also support them in terms of treating their livestock. So we do that, and we really appreciate this partnership. And as we discussed at the time, we will need to take it a notch higher and going forward, and we will look forward to participate in the Masai Mara University research and also community engagement. The challenge has been with the universities is that they have a lot of knowledge, but that knowledge has not found a linkage between communities and the practitioners out there. So this opportunity may perhaps present a way that we can share knowledge from the academia to the communities that practice, on the ground, and see how we can we can actually adapt those outcomes on the ground and improve the livelihoods of the communities and the local economy as well. So thank you very much. And it's an excellent presentation you guys are doing, and we hope to support you. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Mr. Parkolwa. We really look forward to partnering in this area, as you have been in this work for quite some time, and you are also a native of that region. So one last call before I hand over to Dr. Simon Macharia. I wanted to call on one of the lawyers in the room. We have Dr. Yuri Mabonga, and it would be good to hear some of the work that you're doing on the nexus between health and environment, and also if there's something that you would like to share on today and moving forward. Wakili Mabonga.
Thank you very much, Knight, and the team that has made some tremendous presentation this evening. I think this is one of the things that I love following and listening to, because these are things that are affecting every one of us, and these are things that we need to address as a people. My name is Yuri Mabonga. I am an advocate, and I also have a bias towards environmental related issues. Currently, I'm majorly dealing with policy formulation around issues to do with climate change and sustainability, areas of ESG, environment, social, and governance issues. And I've been involving myself a bit in that area, doing a bit of drafting here and there, and also just trying to address matters that touch on environment from a legal point of view. When I say that, I mean doing some stuff in courtrooms where we try to seek justice for people who are not getting what they need to get from the environment and the laws that have been formulated to protect the society. Specifically, we've been focusing on the provision of our constitution in the Republic of Kenya, where it is guaranteed it's actually a fundamental human right that every individual is supposed to enjoy, to have a healthy and clean environment. And it's a responsibility that has been put on the government to ensure that the people enjoy this kind of right. And therefore, whenever we see that people are not enjoying this kind of right, that is where we come in so strongly to try and push for better environment, a healthy and clean environment that is guaranteed for every one of us. Of course, we've also been able to look extensively at the indigenous groups and the effects that climate change is having on these people, and trying to just get some solutions to the issues that are affecting these indigenous communities, because we understand that they are interacting with the environment and the ecosystem. And with these issues of drastic climate change and so on and so forth, how is it affecting the people, and how are the people also interacting with their ecosystem? So I think this conference is timely, because I see now we are speaking to the community. We are going down to the very people that are affected. And I would really love to participate in this. And I think going forward, I would throw in a few contributions towards policy formulations, and just to see other areas that we may be able to join our hands and make sure that everything is successful. Otherwise, I'm so grateful for the presentations that have been so wonderful this evening. Thank you very much for the invitation. Asante.
Thank you so much, Asante Wakili Mabonga. And we will definitely be reaching out to you on these issues that you've mentioned and matters policy and such. So asante sana. So I do want to say that we are basically almost done. Before we finish, I will give it to Dr. Macharia, Simon Macharia, after which I will give it to the elders again. Well, I will give it to Dr. Chaka. After that, if Dr. Chaka, you can take it from Dr. Simon Macharia, and then if you can have the elders close, and you can have the last word, Dr. Bakari Chaka. So on to you, Dr. Simon Macharia.
Oh, thank you very much. I think I will just allude to the area plan that we had. There was a change, I think, in the course of time. So I think my part was to do an overview on community-centered climate week activities and expo. So I don't know whether it is still possible to share what I had, given Dr. Chaka to share for me. I come from the human health part of this conference. I am teaching in the health sciences at Masai Mara University. So basically, as he looks at it, I think maybe I can just be continuing. Why do we this, and why does this event matter? Is because climate change, of course, affects livelihood and the health of people and even the environment. And so there are so many solutions and action points that we need to look at. Now, about the Mount Suswa, we are exploring nature's resilience generally to discover how this volcanic landscape has been supporting biodiversity. And of course, we think about it in terms of carbon and carbon capture and the rest. But why should we join? It's important that we join us in this breathtaking hike, not just for the challenge, but also to see why we are protecting this landscape. And we think this is very urgent. And we also plan to plant some trees to make the area more green. We also have a bike ride, of course, from Kiangare to Narok River. which is part of the wetland. And these are very symbolic light. We want to mention that these are critical water source in the catchment of Mara. And they want to showcase that this wetland has got a very important role in sustaining the ecosystem. And why do we need to recruit you to this slide is because getting on a bike itself is very healthy. And you can light for this what the costs and witness the journey of this water that sustains the lives of this area and the game park for that matter. So in the area of climate and planetary health film festival, we are looking at a way of making sure that we have got this, watching this thought-provoking film on climate change, health and environmental justice. Somebody has already mentioned that. And we want to engage in discussion with these filmmakers, activists, and researchers. And why you need to be there is because films have the power to change the mind. And please come and watch, learn, and take action. And you too can make a script, and we would be happy to share and watch with you. So apart from that, and again, we have got the area that we are expecting to have aspects of connecting the organizations that are offering careers in renewable energy, conservation, sustainability, so that you come and learn about the green economy and how that can shape our future. So you too can get this opportunity. And especially when you're talking to the young people, you can get recruited on the spot. Who knows? It's good to look forward to that career that has got an impact into the future and your opportunity to just be around the corner. Please welcome and join. We will also be having a healthy foods festival, and we want to showcase some organic, climate smart, and ingenious foods.
Sasa si karibu inaisha.
Sorry. But I also think because I think most of it is repetition, and maybe I could just edit there. But otherwise, I was talking about the Healthy Food Festival, and we are telling you that this is a kind of organic, climate smart food, which is, we believe, we will be able to provide quite a number of it will be indigenous, and we'll be having Ffgg, of course. And tunasema karibu, welcome to Taste the Future, and join us celebrate this healthy, indigenous, locally grown food. And in terms of sustainable technology, we want to showcase some innovations in clean energy. We have quite a number of them, even at Masai Mara University, water conservation and waste management. And we'll be doing some good number of hands-on practical demonstration on eco-friendly solutions and how can you participate. Please come and see how this technology is driving sustainability, and these innovations can also change your life. In terms of medical camp, we'll be having a medical camp. We want to hold some free checkups. I'll be there myself because this is my area. And we want to see what are these climate-related health education aspects that you might want to be part of and know how does really health or climate, your health-seeking behavior, how has it been affected by the climate change, for example. So come one, come all, and because we believe health is your wealth and it matters to us, take advantage of this free medical camp and learn how this climate is also changing your. So we also want to have a Gara night, which we are celebrating the stage makers, and it's good to network with everyone who will be present and recognize that there are those climate action changers and heroes. And in that night, it will be really an inspirational night with aspects of culture and entertainment. In Narok, you can never run short of the kind of culture and celebrations that we are going to have. So please come around and let us cruise in style. Let us end this week, start week in style, and join us for that evening as we celebrate that commitment to that sustainable environment and health that we really need. So this is just more than just an event. Actually, it is a movement. We'll even be making some declarations. So please sign up and or sign in. There's a Google form going around in the chat box. So please, in case you have any questions, we also will be there, and let us build a climate resilient future. Asheran, asante sana. Thank you for the opportunity to at least say something. Nashukuru.
Dr. Bakari Chaka.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Masharia. That was a very good roundup, trying to put everything that you have discussed into those nice slides, which are quite impactful, and we can be able to recall a lot as we end from what you have presented. So, members, we are almost nearing to the end of this round. And at this juncture, I just want to echo all that has been said by my colleagues, the organizers, and we want to assure you that you have taken note of all the comments, all the suggestions, and all the inputs that you have indicated, whether orally or in writing. There was a team of very dedicated persons who are looking into this, and all this will be considered as we move forward. So just a reminder that the deadline for the submission of abstract is on 15th of March. So we are still very much active in mobilizing for the abstracts. In case you have a paper or you know some people who are suitable for this opportunity and they would like to submit the abstracts, please feel free to tell them to do that. Some contacts will be given on where the abstracts will be shared. If you are unable to get one, please reach out to either Acopphe or Masai Mara, whichever discipline you or whichever group you try to reach out to them, will direct you where you are supposed to submit your papers. Most importantly, we require collaboration for us to be able to achieve this conference. This is a call. If you want to collaborate with us, if you feel that you can be able to contribute strongly, either financially, technically, or through some advice here and there, then we are very much open and we would really accommodate whatever options that you have. And our means of doing that are quite open. So feel free to be able to do that. I don't want to keep on repeating anything else that has been said. Maybe before we just end up, my senior, Dr. Wawero Kamundia, in case you have any word to say, you can say it. I always look forward to you as one of my seniors here in the university. And after that, we can go directly to the ground and we can be able to hear what Auccw has for us. That would be the end for the Masai Mara side, and then we'd hand over to Knight, and Knight would give the closing remarks in case she has any. Karibu, Daktari Kamundi.
Okay, thank you. I think most of the things have been said. Mine would be to say thank you to everyone who participated in today's workshop. We have a great university in a great town with a lot of culture, a lot of festivities, as you've heard, the interaction with the community. And when you come, be ready to visit the Masai Mara National Park. It's an unforgettable experience. And we are looking to a very successful conference. And without you, there'll be no conference. So welcome. In Swahili, we say karibuni sana.
Asante sana, Daktari. So Knight, we move direct to the Auccw, and then after that, maybe Nathan would have something to say, and then we end it. Auccw?
Thank you, Dr. Chaka, and the team. Mine is just to thank everyone. Thank also the elders. So they've left because they come from a distant village. And all the participants who were able to correspond. And actually, I thank them all for
I think we lost you, Auccw.
Yeah, we might have lost Auccw.
Yeah.
So maybe I can just very briefly come in and welcome Nathan so that he can talk about, maybe give us a quick announcement. Nathan, please.
Thanks, Knight. Thanks, Juana Auccw, Dr. Macharia, and Dr. Chaka. Just to reference a couple of the recent messages in the chat, we posted about a few WhatsApp groups focused on the Indigenous peoples and the Declaration, and also the Climate Week volunteers. So if you're interested in working together in those capacities, please join us in the WhatsApp group. We've had a few people join already. James Dabalin has also posted for the Google feedback form. So please click on that and let us know any feedback you have about today's events. And the last announcement is just that we are committed to joining with you to walk on this journey together. It won't be a short journey, and for sure there will be some interesting twists and turns along the way, but for sure that will make it more interesting and fun as we walk it together. And 4 weeks from today, Friday, April 4th, is the next first Friday of April. So we will hold another similar meeting to the one that we had today, building up to the August 3rd through 9th Climate Week and Hearts for Climate Conference. Our plan for the April First Friday Global Gathering is to highlight children, and in particular, the theme will be Standing with Children to Achieve Health for All. Briefly to reference the recent major changes that have happened in the global realm related to aid or the World Health Organization, the different climate and environmental issues. And so what we're aiming to do is to look specifically around building a stronger community of practice, both locally and globally, to generate solutions for these new challenges and to frame, again, the positive, optimistic opportunities that we can co-create together. And again, tying that to our overall activities building up towards the August conference. So thanks again. Back to you, Nate.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Nathan. And I think with that, if Dr. Chaka, you don't have anything else that you'd like to add, I think we can call this the end of our gathering today. Auccw had started to reground us and close up for us, and we will take that as the official closing for the elders, even though it was really short. Thank you, everyone. I just want to leave the floor open for just a few seconds in case some of the other people who haven't spoken may have something to say before we speak, before we close, and then I can just call this closed. So I think I'll just kind of do a countdown from 3 to 1 and just giving you some time in case you want to unmute and say something. So 3, 2, 1. Do I have your permission, Dr. Bakari Chaka, to go ahead and close?
Yes, have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Have a good evening, everyone. And asante sana.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.